introduce our next guest who runs a fund that invests in large companies. It's an ETF, and it's ranked #1 by the Wall Street Journal for its performance. This guy's a star. And he says, better yet, the man says the new tax law is still going to give this market another leg up. Welcome, please, and a round of applause for Joel Shulman. He's the CEO of ERShares. Joel, how you doing?
Good morning. How are you? Thanks.
You're the #1 ranked, right?
Right now, we're also strong, and by the way, it's not just large cap, it's also global funds and small cap too.
Okay,
yeah.
If you're #1, we're interested in what you've got to say. And what you're saying is that the tax cuts, which have bled into the economy to some degree, still have more bleeding into the economy to come, correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And it's more than just the tax cuts. I mean, we're talking about entrepreneurial companies. I mean, these are companies that believe in ESG. They have small imprint in the environment. They're strong in social. They're growing jobs by quite a bit, 10, 15%. And their governance is very strong. So, I mean, these are companies that are not just acquiring and firing people. I mean, they're growing the economy.
They're American capitalist companies.
They are American capitalist companies.
And they're doing well.
They're doing fantastic.
And
I mean,
the growth in the economy and the tax cuts are really helping them big time?
It's fueling it. So there's 17 companies in the S&P 500 that are creating about 300,000 jobs. And if you take those companies out, you've got 400 and something companies that are basically doing nothing. I mean, they're not growing at all. And these 17 companies are creating lots of jobs. They're investing in R&D, and they're fueling the economy. The others are spending, in fact, it's close to $1.7 trillion so far in M&A activity. It's $600 billion over last year at this time. They're acquiring companies and they're firing companies.
Now,
firing people.
There's a couple of companies, and I know your stuff, and I believe that you like Netflix. Is that
correct?
Yes,
we do, yes.
They've just done a deal with the Obamas, President Obama and Michelle, and the stock is up just a little bit. It's at $333.
Yeah.
You think that deal with the Obamas is a good deal for Netflix?
Well, Netflix and companies like it, like Amazon and Square, I mean, these companies are up 30, 40, 50. Square's up 66%. Yeah. I mean, these are companies that know how to cut SG&A properly. They know how to grow. They know how to create jobs for the economy. So these guys are very sharp. I mean, these entrepreneurs who are running it have been doing it for a long time. You remember, Netflix years ago, people thought they were going to die a decade ago.
Right,
and they just transformed themselves into something different.
You don't care about the Obamas signing a deal with Netflix. You couldn't care less about that. You're just looking at the company and how it functions. And you say, well, would you buy it? Have you bought it?
I own it now.
Are you going to buy some more?
We have it in our fund. I mean, it's part of our ETF. I mean, they've been a star.
You didn't answer the question. Are you going to buy some more?
Well, sure. It's in our ETF. It's a rules-based ETF, and as long as
you got to buy it.
I have to buy it.
Okay, Amazon. You've got that already.
I have it. I've had it for over a decade.
And you're happy with? Well,
love it.
Got to be happy with it. You've had it for a decade.
I love the stock.
You think it's going higher?
I think it's going higher. I mean, they're maybe third inning of a 9-inning game.
What's so good about it? Other than that it's
when you think about Amazon, I mean, again, I'm not doing a commercial for Amazon, but when you think about Amazon, I mean, they had a 17% gross margin 5 years ago. They had 155,000 people 5 years ago. I mean, today, their margin is 27%. I mean, they've increased it by 10 points in the last 5 years. I mean, what company does this? They've grown jobs from like 155,000 to like almost 600,000 jobs. Now, part of that was taken on Whole Foods, but you back that out, they still have a net 400,000 jobs. I mean, so they're growing the margins, they're expanding revenues by 30% per year, and they're creating jobs for Americans. So, I mean, who doesn't love that?
We do love that. We like success on this program.
Sure.
That's why you're on. You're a successful guy.
Yeah.
Last question. The Dow today is at 25,000.
Yeah.
Can it go up significantly from here? Give me the big picture. Forget your ETF for a second.
Okay. So the big picture is, up until a few days ago, the Dow was nothing, right? I mean, they're flat. And the S&P is up 2-3%. I mean, our funds are up 14%, small cap and large cap. I mean, entrepreneurial growth is strong. These large companies aren't doing anything. Again, they're just kind of muddling along. So when you think about the Dow, you think about most of the companies, the S&P, they're not doing much.
This is your first time on this program.
I
think you've learned how to handle it. Don't answer the question. Not always.
Okay, I think it will go higher.
Thank you very much. You can come back. Joel, we do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
That's good.